So we're going to do the chain stitch. We have a piece of fabric. I've drawn a straight line using a pen across my fabric, only for demonstration purposes and practicing your first chain stitches. So do not draw on your stockings or your CBAs or anything that's going to be a final handed up product. I also have my thread ready with my needle. So I have a short tail up here and I have a long tail. I'm just going to make my short tail a little bit shorter so it doesn't get tangled, and I have my long tail with my knot at the bottom of it. To start the chain stitch, if you're right-handed, you're going to come in at the edge of the line. Okay, so as always, we sew from the right to the left, so in that direction. If you're left-handed, you're starting over here, right? So you're starting on the left and you're sewing towards the right. Bring your needle through from the back. Again, it's like the blanket stitch. You always want to have the knot and all the thread and untidy stuff at the back. So you never want to see the knot. If you see the knot at the front, it means you came in wrong. Okay, so it should be the thread coming out. The next thing is hold it towards 10 o'clock. So it's the same as your blanket stitch. You're always going to be holding the thread towards 10, and I have a loop going around like that. Next thing is, for the first stitch, you're going to go in right beside where you last went in, and you're going to come out a centimetre across on the straight line. So just like that. And next thing, you're going to do the same thing as you did the blanket stitch. Put the thread underneath the needle. So put the thread underneath. And how you know you're doing it right is you should see a right angle forming with your thread. When you've done that, then you're okay to actually pull through your needle. So remember, grab it where the needle meets the thread so it doesn't unravel on you, and pull it through, and you should end up with a little chain stitch, a loop. Okay, for the next one, again, hold your thread towards 10, put it into your right hand. So thread is going towards 10. For your next one, you go inside the loop and you come out again a centimetre across on the straight line, and make sure that that thread goes underneath and it makes a right angle. Okay, so you can see that right angle there. Pull it through. Now, you continue on with that until you either run out of thread or you're finished doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. Now, I will show you what happens if you do the stitch incorrectly. Let's say you forget to put the thread up at 10 o'clock and you forget to put it underneath the needle. So if I go through like this, so I've gone in at 3 o'clock and out at 9 o'clock. So that's the method I always use. So remember, the blanket was in at 6 and out at 12. This one's in at 3 o'clock, out at 9 o'clock. Pull it through. Now, I'm going to pull it really slowly because you'll be able to see what's going to happen. So when I pull it slowly, can you see that this loop, if I keep pulling it, it gets smaller, but it's not attached to anything that's going towards the left. So I need to make sure that it's attached to something. Otherwise, all of the stitches you've done will unravel. So the very easiest thing to do is just to open your loop, stick your needle through the middle of the loop, and then pull it back in the direction that you want to go. And your stitch will go like that. So again, I'm going to shorten my tail. No, actually, I'm not going to shorten my tail. I'm going to keep my tail long, and I'm going to show you what happens when it gets tangled up. So let's say I hold it towards 10 o'clock. I put it in at 3 o'clock. I bring it out at 9 o'clock. And let's see what happens with the tail. So see now, my tail has gotten caught up. You need to fix this before you do your next stitch. So if you see something like this, it's wrong. You need to separate your two pieces of thread there and pull on one of them separately, and you will figure out which one is the tail. So if I pull on this one, nothing happens. But if I pull on this one, see my little tail? And I can take them out and then just shorten the tail where your needle is. So I've shortened it up now. So it's about 2 or 3 inches. And then I can continue to do my stitching. So in at 3 o'clock, out at 9 o'clock, thread underneath the needle and pull it through. Okay, and I'm also going to show you how to finish this stitch. So it's very similar to the blanket stitch. When you run out of thread or when you need to stop, you have to go through to the back outside the loop. So see here, So it's outside the little loop. If I was to go inside, that would be starting another stitch. I need to go outside the loop so that I end up pinning that loop down where I want it. So see there, that little stitch that I've done last is pinning it down and it's not going to move. Then you turn it around and you do your little pickup stitch. So grab a piece of fabric, pull the needle through, grab a piece of fabric, pull it through, right? And then you're going to cut it about 2 inches away. Now, when you want to restart, so let's say I had to stop because I ran out of thread. You get a brand new piece of thread, tie a knot in the end of it like always, and then where you start from is inside the loop, but as close as possible to the edge of the loop as you can get. So see there, I'm basically at the edge of it. I'm going to pull it through, and then you just continue on going in at 3 o'clock and out at 9 as if you never stopped. So holding it towards 10, go in here at 3 o'clock, out at 9 o'clock, thread underneath the needle, pull it through, and there's your next stitch. And your blanket stitch should go on straight like that.